the auto killing mobs to get a steak and stuff, but I should also get the netherwort farm up and running the next day or so.
Awesome.
Wow. Well, yeah, you've done so much in just the first 7. Thank you very much for letting us all use this stuff.
Like, I have a use for it. I don't build pretty stuff. No,
Okay.
I build machines.
I was gonna ask if Mango has been able to rejoin us yet. I know he was on, then he dropped off. Because I know he wanted to go to the Nether, and we still have about 25 minutes left.
Nether is scary. I don't like it.
Okay. Well, let's see.
Scary Nether. I'm not saying I don't want to go. I'm just letting you know I'll die.
Well, alternately, we could go deal with anything else on the agenda, or we could hang out and start building food trucks or something like that.
I'm good with the Nether. I'm just telling you, it's scary.
Duly noted. Yeah, I don't like the screaming voices, creepiness, but, you know.
I like the Nether.
I'll adapt.
And if for any reason it seems to be clogged, just let me know. And if you're not comfortable clicking on the machines and figuring out where the clog has occurred, just let me know and I'll find the clog in the farm. Because every now and again, like, a skeleton will die and it will drop into something and get sucked up in a machine where it's not supposed to be, and then things get clogged and it has to be undone to fix it. And
okay. So where do I charge things up just before we go? Because my jetpack's just gone.
I was gonna say I've got a charging station in my house. So you're more than welcome to use that. I can show you that.
I don't know where your house is.
Oh, you see that? It's the one built into the hill over by Ames.
Oh, okay.
You saw where I made the bridge?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'd be happy to show you that.
Awesome.
Now, see, I know Mango wanted to talk about the Greg Tech stuff, but I don't want to do that without him here.
I'd quite like to talk about the Greg Tech stuff, so he's not alone.
No, you know, that everybody wants to talk about the Greg Tech stuff, and so, like, since we have 25 minutes, I'd love to get to it, but, so anyway, Cleo, if you want to come back over here, if you want to swing by mine after the pub.
Oh, that was really bad. Don't ever do that.
Well, okay, fine. I've been watching that show from the UK known as Misfits, and I've learned all sorts of things.
That explains a lot. Okay, I'm on your bridge.
Okay, so yeah, now go down the road here, and it leads you to the actual entrance.
I can't see you.
Okay, see inside of here. So this is the actual entrance, and then you go up here.
Go up the ladder?
Up the ladder, yeah.
Okay, cool.
And we just lost Jaded too.
Oh, blimey. Yeah,
this is a problem with the specific server provider.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because I can't pick up all of my stuff, which is about to despawn because I can't pick it up because of lag.
I'd like to appreciate anyone who aggroed the zombie pigmen inside Jada Cat's house.
Okay, Cleo, you can put the jetpack inside the top part of that generator there.
Okay.
I'm gonna make a sword and go try and kill that zombie pigman. Because, you know, that's good drama.
Dun, dun,
the zombie pigman is gone.
Oh, well, maybe
Sorry.
I don't need a diamond sword then, and I will save that for the Lincoln book. Or stand, or whatever.
There we go. I'm now out of your pipes.
Yeah, it's a fun little setup I've got up here.
It's an obstacle course. I like it though. But then I've always got a fondness for mountains.
Okay, apparently he just respawned and he's gonna keep killing me, so on second thought, yes, somebody please kill him.
Joe, go, go, go! Superhero Joe!
I can't even pick up my items because of the lag right now.
On my way.
He's dead.
Yay!
Killing me again.
Well, then I won't... Okay. This is very confusing for me. I want to help, but I don't want to waste diamonds, so
Wes,
I can
Can
help
you
later.
pick up my stuff because I can't pick up anything with this server lag.
I don't really have any room. Let me see what I can do.
Okay, so then I'll dump everything in a chest and I'll come back.
Okay, it finally showed up in my inventory, so it's... But yeah, this is... biting my tongue.
Yeah, and we can discuss out of band possibly switching hosts down the line, but I mean I'm paid up through the month at least on these guys, so
There are reasons why I left them as my server provider.
gotcha.
To have lost my sword, and part of it was that either they are the most DDoSed server host in the history of server hosts, or they use DDoS as an excuse for their machines breaking.
Gotcha. So, Wes, is there anything that we can help you get set up while we wait to see if Mango comes back over here in your little plot?
Not really. I was gonna. Everybody else was building on pretty buildings, so I was gonna go old school and make a cool tree house. So I got a bunch of jungle saplings, and I'm gonna make them grow up and be big trees and make some stuff. And then I thought I might get wacky and build some pipes down to the magma lake underneath me, and pump the magma up into big tubes going through the trees just to scare everybody.
That would look awesome from a Latin standpoint too.
You could also always pump the lava over to Energy Mountain for energy stuff.
I see how this goes.
Yeah, my plan is to build an airship with things on the outside like lava pipes and all sorts of things. They don't do anything. They don't do anything, but it looks cool.
Oh, Doc was the one who wanted the uranium and stuff. Okay. If anybody is doing IC2 and you want things like the bauxite stuff and uranium, etc., feel free to steal anything you find in my chest. I don't use IC2, so...
Thank you.
Steal it. Feel free. I have no use for it.
Okay, well, I'm gonna try and get somewhere safe real quick, and I'm gonna see if I can reach Mango via the, what do you call that thing? It's like a little box in your pocket. They used to have them attached to walls.
Telephone?
Telephone, yeah.
God.
I'm gonna...
Do you want phone number contact for us?
The only reason I have it for him is that we were on a panel together at a convention, and that was the easiest way to coordinate there. But
yeah, that's not an answer to the question.
I don't need it.
I generally, when I've done projects like this before, I always give somebody my phone number in case you need to send me a text.
Yeah, I don't know that I would want to require that of all members as a membership requirement. Okay, this is actually maybe something that we could talk about.
I wasn't actually saying require it.
Oh, no, I know. I'm just... you actually got me onto an interesting topic. One of the things that we were running into last week was what my commenters described as protectionism, which I thought was an interesting choice of words. The idea that with our idea of who can vote and when can they vote and whatnot, we were being too careful about holding our own positions. And what I realized is the most important part of that to me is that if I wanted to invite somebody cool on the server, then, and like the whole point of the server is that you participate in this democratic process and whatnot, it would be really hard to sell it to them. It's like, well, everybody gets to vote on everything except for you.
Huh?
Oh, tell me.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
Okay, and I'm not saying... my point was, like, for example, you know, there's like, I go to a lot of conventions and I meet other people who make videos and stuff like that. And so, like, for example, let's say that somebody's an established YouTuber and, you know, everybody knows them, nobody has any problem with them. There's no reason that they shouldn't have voting on non-punitary issues. Like, I mean, I understand the idea, like, well, we don't want people voting other people off the server. So for, like, punitive stuff, we could reserve that for us, but, like...
Oh, that!
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got an opinion on this. Yeah, the opinion is that your commentators completely misunderstood what we were discussing the last time. I don't think anybody said that regular members shouldn't have a vote or shouldn't have a say in stuff at all, or that people should be able to be banned autocratically. Everybody has to have a reason for being banned, you know, and anybody is is, in my opinion, anybody up to and including us, if we break rules, are subject to being banned.
Yeah, you know, it's one of those things like if Wes went crazy and published all of our phone numbers and, you know, said all sorts of terrible things, then, well, that's the end of Wes. Bye. But I know he won't do that.
Wait. There's a rule against that?
It's not that we were doing protectionism. It's that people read into what was discussed last time and jumped to conclusions. No one in any way, shape, or form, me, you know, the dog on the wall, stated that the common, whatever you want to call them, person wouldn't be able to vote. That was the whole point of the voting system, was that everybody's going to get a vote. And that everybody is subject to the rules.
Awesome. Cleo, is that, do you have anything you'd like to add to that?
No, yeah, my slight theory is what Jade was saying, because that was where I was going with it that time. But I can see why they would read into that based on what was said. I don't think it's necessarily accurate.
Okay, great.
I also think that some of your YouTube commentators were a bit confused as to, they thought that all your like 8 episodes occurred on 8 different days and didn't realize it all occurred in the same 3-hour period.
Yeah, yeah, that's kind of my fault. I should have. I thought I wrote launch day on all of them, but whatever. I'll make that more prominent next time. Okay, so is Mango back in the voice with us?
Yeah, I'm back here. I'm not streaming anymore. I'm getting DDoS and I can't block it.
Okay. Sorry to hear that. Well, I was gonna say we've got 15 minutes left. Do you want me to show you where the Nether Fortress is, in the very least?
Sure.
Okay. Oh wait, no. Or Greg Tech was probably more important.
Yeah, I think Greg Tech.
I think we probably need to wait for that for Doc.
Well, we're not gonna get a non-split vote on Greg Tech. I'm gonna assume. I don't think I'll. But here's what I'm thinking though: is it's gonna be important for us to get opinions out there, so that way the other people can watch the videos and hear our arguments one way or the other when they make their votes.
I will be abstaining from that conversation entirely.
Is that a position thing?
That is a position thing.
Okay,
I
cool.
will not comment on Greg Tech. Joe already knows my opinion on it. Joe can have my vote for that one. My vote goes with his.
No, okay. Well, you can just vote with me then. You still get to vote. You can just choose not to discuss it.
I will not discuss it.
Okay.
Okay. So let's see. Cleo, you had mentioned that you wanted to talk about Greg Tech. What were you thinking about?
No, I'm just saying it's a case of the recipes at the moment I think are a bit expensive, and I'd like it like turned down a little bit. I don't know if that's possible or anything.
Yeah, I think Greg Tech just needs to go. As far as I can tell, it holds no actual purpose except to make things more complicated.
What? You mean diamonds and glowstone for a macerator is expensive?
Yeah.
Okay, well, on the flip side of that, though, there's a lot of really high-end Greg Tech machines that we're not at yet, like the fusion reactor and whatnot, that we are probably going to want once we're a few weeks into the server. You know, we just don't have the technology to take advantage of the high-end Greg Tech stuff yet.
This would be where I do make the interjection. That's one of the ID conflict things that we can't use right now because it's not 145 and hasn't been fixed.
So
we can't use that piece of Greg Tech machinery, is what you're saying?
It can cause some issues. Yeah.
Okay, right.
Okay.
Not always, but it can.
But are there other? But not necessarily every piece of advanced Greg Tech machine, like the energy storage unit with the lapis lazuli. There's an expandable energy storage unit. There's all sorts of high-end stuff in there that's completely worthless while we're running around using bat boxes and not like high-end energy. But you guys are gonna hit a ceiling pretty quick, Doc and Mango, I think.
Well, if they swap over to Buildcraft, they won't.
Well, I think it's safe to assume that from a video making standpoint, it's best for us to cover all the mods. So and that's the other thing, cutting anything out is gonna differentiate us from what our viewers are playing. And then if we make a tutorial, it's not gonna be accurate.
Is there a way to configure that? I mean, I know you're worried about tutorials and everything, but it's the recipes that's killing me.
Mm.
You can do it
It can
case
all
by
be
case.
turned off. It can all be turned off. You can turn off just the recipe changes and leave the rest intact. You can turn off the whole thing. You can turn off some of the recipe changes and leave other recipe changes, or any combination of the above. In future FTB packs, all of the recipe changes will be disabled by default.
Right.
You know, so what the viewers are going to be playing soon is going to be packs that either don't have Greg Tech or have Greg Tech with the recipes disabled unless they enable them.
Well, my thoughts on future upgrades is that we would try to keep the server on whatever the most advanced Feed the Beast publicly available thing is. So, if this stuff is going to be disabled by default later, is it worth getting into a big argument about now? Because, is there... I don't want to ask any proprietary questions, but is there any timeline for when the 145 would come out? If the answer is no, that's okay.
It's a complicated question, and it's really an answer of I cannot make an official statement on that now.
No, and I wouldn't want you. Okay, so I guess my concern though is if this is a problem that's going to go away in 2 weeks, should we just play with Buildcraft and other stuff in the meantime?
I think
the pulverizer
if
macerates.
Yep.
Yeah, I would probably.
You can get industrial craft energy by using electric engines.
Well, also, Mango, the pulverizer does the same thing as the macerator, and I love it. I got one up in my base. You're welcome to come kick the tires on it. You just run that My Joules engine energy into it, the Mac Juliet or whatever, and then it just splits ores into 2 dust.
Well, actually, there is a simpler method with thermal expansion, Joe. If you happen to have large amounts of sand, you don't need to actually macerate it. You put the ore in an induction smelter with sand, and it gets split into 2 ingots.
Okay, so there's a second way to double the output of your quarry, essentially.
Yep.
From that. So, like, I guess the high cost of the macerator alone doesn't necessarily justify doing a massive config change and trying to do a multi-day vote, or at least not to me. And if you guys want to push for something and you have specific text that we want to put to a vote, I'm happy to vote on it.
Wes?
I am okay however we go. I do think that whatever I'm doing, the path to it is just something I'm going to have to follow. I ran into Greg Tech problems on our server, but that's also because I was, it's just 3 of us as opposed to, like 20 analytical creation geniuses like we got on here, all shoved into 3 people.
All right, well, Doc is the big supporter of it needs to go bye-bye.
Dang it, I didn't have that on the push to talk. I hit Zoom. It's too late. It's too late. I was saying that was our multiple penetration joke for the stream, but we're done.
Wow.
Push to talk, you're killing me. Sorry, Mango. I cut you off. That was rude of me. Please
No,
continue.
you're fine. I'd like Greg Tech to go away, but then again, I've not played with the machines that are part of it, the advanced stuff. But I know Doc is adamant about wanting it to be gone. So, I mean, I can't... me personally, I probably really don't care one way or the other, but I think this is going to be something that just needs to be tabled until we can get just a straight yes/no vote from everybody in the town hall.
Yeah.
Well, and one thing that I've suggested for people who can't be here is that they should put the exact text that they want to vote on a sign and make a video standing next to that sign explaining their point. And so then other people can make reply videos and set that as a reply to the initial one or whatnot, as well as vote. And so that way, that process is out in front of people, but it doesn't necessarily have to be everybody's on at Sunday at this time.
I think that sounds like a legit way of doing things, actually, vote-wise. because that way we get everybody's opinions as well.
Yeah.
So that way we get to hear what Doc has to say, even if he can't be here.
Here's a question. If none of us have strong feelings on it, it doesn't sound like any of us actually have a strong feeling on Greg Tech one way or the other. You know, I'm abstaining. Nobody else has really said they care that much. And one person does care and really, really wants it gone. Is there a reason why we couldn't just remove it?
Well, I would consider removing it dependent on his case. Or I would consider my vote dependent on his case. And I think everybody is comfortable hearing Doc out. Nobody has a problem with watching whatever Doc posts where he explains his case, but I can't make a decision either way until I hear from him.
Right. Okay. I'm good with. We'll table it. We'll talk to Doc, get him to make his case one way or the other, and then we'll decide later on it.
We need to extort gizmos out of him, though.
Yes, absolutely.
Gizmos?
Gadgets.
By the way,
Stuff.
Joe, speaking
Yes.
of gizmos and extorting and borrowing, you have coke ovens, don't you?
Yeah, I have one. I still need more clay so I can make, and sand so I can make 2 and 3. Do you need creosote oil?
I may need creosote oil or coal coke. I'm going to be making a tunnel bore machine. I was thinking, if nobody objects, probably late tonight when all have gone to bed, I'm going to lay out landmarks and tunnel. I'll just tunnel under the streets, a 3x3 section. That's what a tunnel bore can do. Under all of the street path things, so that we have the pipeline caverns built. All we have to do is run the pipes.
That
Okay.
sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Remember, the top of the tunnel should be at the level 50, though, to try and avoid flooding and running into creeks and stuff.
My chat
Okay.
room is speculating why he wants Greg Tech gone.
So you want it?
Why is that?
I'm going. Is there?
Could-
Can you explain more about why you want it at level 50? Because that's going to require, from the level of most of the buildings, putting the pipes, 10 pipes down from the level of the lots.
The reason for that is so we can have bridges over water where you can see the water under the bridges. It was purely aesthetic.
Oh, well, let me see something. I want to look at where we put pipe. I was thinking 3 or 4 down would allow for water under bridges without. My concern is that the further the pipe has to go, the more gold pipes I have to put in place.
Mm-hmm.
And that can get really expensive really fast. If we have this pipeline is now at 3 blocks down. If you could put a bridge here, there'd still be water under it. It'd still look nice.
Let me see what level the water is at. Okay, so it seems like the water level is like 63, 64. So do we want?
Yeah, default is 64 for water.
Okay, so what if we said like 58 maybe? Because I'm just looking at the natural way that these like rivers go and stuff. They seem to go down to around 59, 60.
Well, if we do 257, that would
Yeah.
be low enough, but not all the way down to 50, and that would make it so I could cut the number of gold pipes by 1/3.
That sounds good to me. Does anybody else have any objections to that?
No, that works for
Nope.
me.
Level 57 is where I put the sewers.
Okay, awesome. And
Do we want to include like a rail line portion underneath the roads, or do we want to do rails as like kind of part of the roads? Because we could do a subway system with the pipes.
I wasn't sure. I kind of thought we'd talk about maybe doing a monorail or something, but I have to learn more about. I can't put together a proposal on that until I learn more about the mods, and I was kind of thinking that might be something for another day, since we also
Well,
don't
yeah.
have as many people here and it'd be really public. We're actually approaching the hour, so I'm gonna go around the table and ask if anybody has any closing remarks, starting with Cleo.
No, I think I think I said everything I need to say.
Wes,
No, I got nothing.
Jade,
No, just post requests. I don't get on Skype much, so any requests you have, please post by the house. I'll make
Mango?
sure I get
Oh,
it.
sorry.
My only request was if you've got machines on my lot, we need to start moving them.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have anything on your lot. Does anybody here have anything on Mango's lot?
I don't.
Oh,
No, not
that
me.
was Energy Mountain. That was the thing. How are
Well,
we?
No.
What are we doing with Energy Mountain? Who's doing the power thing?
Well, I was gonna say, Jade, if you feel comfortable taking the lead on that because you're online most and you also know most about the mods, but then that's the sort of thing that I think a lot of people can help
I'll
with.
need Doc's help with a nuclear reactor or somebody's. I've never done a nuclear reactor, and we'll probably want one of those at the base of the mountain for massive IC2 power generation.
I'm
Yeah,
sure Doc would be willing to help that.
Yeah, I think that that's going to be a group effort thing. But I mean, it's because it's inside the mountain. I'm not too worried about the aesthetics, or unless anybody else here has any major concerns about just kind of moving forward with it.
More getting, well, yeah, it won't be pretty. What it will be is compact and organized as possible, so that we don't have lines crisscrossing each other, etc. They'll be simple and easy.
Whoa!
What happened?
Oh, she's looking at the inside of Energy Mountain, which has been carved down, not quite to bedrock.
Almost, but there is gold down there that I kind of want.
Well, do we really need to stick a quarry in here? Because these, where did he put the resources from here? Because this was supposed to be where we got the resources for making the machine for Energy Mountain.
Where can he or where did he?
Where did he?
I have no idea.
I thought we were going to use the ores and stuff from here to make the machines.
But as far as I can tell, I'm not seeing a whole bunch of stuff. Are you sure he didn't just use the filler? If he used the filler and just let it go,
God, I think he did.
Those ores may be gone.
I made a quarry!
I don't know. That's between you and Doc. I don't know.
I'll put it.
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't involved in that. Okay, so it sounds like though we can conclude formally this joint session. Everybody's had their chance to say their final words and fall to the ground too hard. If somebody has a bucket that they can use where it's not going to sweep away all this stuff, but you know, let him get back down there. That might be friendly.
Where is he?
Okay, well, I've got to. He just fell in the quarry. I've got to go so I can talk to Svei about finalizing getting all the images. Those will be available in a zip file that I will link in the Skype, everybody.
Cool. Awesome.
Okay.
And, you know, I know, Jade, you asked last week, folks who don't have YouTube, what should they do with them? If you wanted to make Be Right Back screens or setting up screens.
That's what I was doing with them.
Awesome, yeah. So I will go get on the horn with Svei, and we will get all that pushed along to you. So I'll catch you guys later. Thank you so much for showing up, and I'm really glad y'all agreed to play on the server because I'm having a ton of fun, and this is great.
I did want to say I'm very disappointed to learn that y'all hate my guts.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely guts. Hate your guts.
No.
Wait, what?
Joe's YouTube comments. Y'all apparently hate my guts, according to Joe's YouTube viewers.
Yes, yes, we hate you. Have we not? Apparently, everyone, we all hate you. There you go.
You all hate me.
That's why
I'm very disappointed.
Yeah, it's just tolerating us, tolerating you even.
Well, I've got to say, actually, the YouTube comments started off being like, Jade's talking too much. I want to hear more Mango. I want to hear more Doc Redstone. I want to hear more Wes. I want to hear more Brenda. Why is she talking too much? And it's just like, over time, though, people are just like, oh, okay, well, she's not saying anything bad. I mean, all that stuff makes sense. So, like, people kind of warmed up to you. But I think that, like, especially people who came in knowing some of the other people and were like, oh, I can't wait to see a video where Joe records only with the person that I like best. You know?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I didn't get to talk to Cleo as much as I would have liked, but, you know, at least we had that first episode together, whereas I never was solo with Doc or Mango.
Well, there's time in the future. This is not going away anytime soon, so...
Right.
Oh, yeah, no, we're going to get some good group stuff together on this, I'm hoping.
Why have my barrels disappeared?
One thing.
Log off, log back in.
Okay.
This doesn't necessarily need to be part of the recording, though, if you wanted to close. I just had an offer.
Ooh,
offer?
Well,
intriguing.
I'm still
I'm not
recording,
sure
just to warn you.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how much you guys like bees or want to breed your own, but I now have an Imperial bee line, so the Imperial bees heal you when you're standing next to them. They regenerate your health.
Ooh.
Do you each want an apiary on your property with Imperial bees?
Yes. I want an
That
apiary.
sounds awesome.
I want to be taught about bees from the beginning anyway, so...
Yeah, I might hold it until I can do a video about receiving it and where you explain some of it. Like I said, I have to go, though, because I got to take care of Svay.
Okay.
So,
Alright.
alrighty. I'll catch you guys later.
Okay, see you later,
Bye.
Joe. And I've got to head off as well, so I'll catch you guys later.
I'm gonna be all alone again.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
Sorry,
I'm
Jay.
gonna start planting my trees.
I'll probably be back
I'm-
later,
I'm
though.
gonna- I'm gonna be back on in a few minutes, but I'm going to grab some food because I haven't eaten today.
If one of you guys who's really good at jetpacks could like go along and put torches on the walls here, so that
Okay, give me some torches.
Okay, guys, I'll see you possibly in an hour or so. Okay, bye-bye.
Take care,
Later.
Cleo.